Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for some more foundation. In today's video we are starting pretty much where we left off actually, but from a new city perspective. I decided to have a fresh start in a coastal city, in a coastal map. Because of this, of course, I can actually make my own fish, so I don't depend on imports as much as on a hills map, which I felt was pretty damn annoying. I've also learned quite a bit about the game, of course, in those first 4 hours of playing the previous city. And so what I personally like to do is to dot the map with small areas that have specific uses, like of course the resource extraction and replanting of wood here, which you can see here, and then up here the latest one. Then you've got a couple of housing squares, which, well, are not always that desirable. I'm not really sure how I can, for instance, up the desirability here. It is pretty obvious that a well is super important. Basically, this one is not that great. The rest of them are doing okay. Then we get some fertility, plenty of places to go for wheat. I decided to make a wheat farm surrounding a little forest. I thought that would look pretty cool. And then iron ore. This actually has small patches, so you don't always have to be close to a mountain. Let's see, wasn't there another patch that I had? Yep, up here for instance. So you can definitely grab iron in another way. Yeah, I've been building this second town up, and basically we are at the same spot we left last time, except that I've completed my Lord's Manor, and I actually added 4 small treasuries to it, and that is actually what increases your gold cap. So very interesting. After doing that, we unlocked the final tier, the final trade route as well, although we haven't really done anything with that just yet. And then what I'm experimenting with right now, which is probably gonna be the focus of this video, is that I am building up a wooden keep here in order to try and you know, unlock more stuff, see what that's all about. I put down a couple of training dummies as well, and we should see a small gate. But this is a nice little hill behind or overlooking most of the town, and so I think that's a good place for a military building. On the quest fronts, I've actually been skipping most of them. It's been decently tricky to get food into my storehouses, except for bread. I am making a huge amount of bread, so that is something that I can still trade. And if that shows up as the quest to either the king, the clergy, or the people, then I can run that quest. But for the rest, I'm basically not producing enough food just yet. We're trying to up my berry production. That's been very stale, and then you can see that we're trying to scale up our fish production as well. I'm not sure if I should build more houses closer to them, but I'm hoping that basically these houses here can provide homes for them, and that this one here can become a place to stock on more fish. So that's been going quite well. Also another trick, or another part of the game, aspect of the game that I have learned that can actually be very helpful. You can build multiple stalls right away in a single market. So this one, for instance, I built 3 food stalls, 1 good stall, so that I could again trade everything that I'm making. We've got bread, we've got the berries, the fish, and then the common clothes as well. So that's something that you can do. That's actually very nice. All right, what do they want? They want berries again, and I don't think I can have the. We do have 60 days, so I could try to stockpile them. Let's try that actually. And what we need most would be that labor thing that's up pretty high, and so we shall assist the people for 10 of that. Let's give that a try. And so what we're gonna try to do in order to achieve that is to stockpile the berries, and then over here we're going to try and stock to the maximum. Let's see if we can get this quest going. We do need 30 of it, so that's quite a bit, but we should see less consumption. We're producing berries here, here, and here, so hopefully I can push through to that quest. People at the moment are really happy. They just don't have enough clothes, I think this is. So I have expanded that facility with a second farm, a second sheep farm, and a second tailor's workshop. We're also down here around the iron, building tools, building barrels, So that's another part of the economy that's running. I like the fact that this is hidden in a little bit of a forest, and that behind that we actually have our fisheries. But I'm still not sure what to do with the barrels. Doesn't look like I have any good options for producing wine or anything like that just yet. So we'll have to see how that works. Bread, really happy with that. 2 small farms and then 2 sets, 2 windmills and 2 bakeries. That does produce a lot of bread for the people. So that's awesome. So next up, let's see if we can get those 30 berries in these 60 days. And is he bringing berries? Yeah, ooh, that's very good. The first 12 are in. So if these guys could actually stock that up, that would be nice. 2 new villagers joining. Let's take a look. We've got a nice list of villagers at this point, and we are starting to get the strange names here. This is still in early access, of course, so that means that there are some parts that are not necessarily finished, but this is pretty damn cool. Oh, over here we can assign someone to make extra charcoal. I think that I was not doing too well on that here. It's actually iron. This is producing plenty of that. And then you use the coal, use the iron ore. Why aren't you smelting more stuff or more quickly? I guess we could use a second smelter as well. The wooden keep has been completed. Look at that, pretty nice. Can I do anything here? I think I shall think about training. So the kid has noticed your keep and might call on you to aid in military. We'll look into doing that. Oh, we can assign people to become soldiers. Right now, unfortunately, we don't really have anyone that's available for that. Well, we have one unemployed person. So let's assign someone that's available. We get actually a couple of soldiers, because we also have a couple of guards for for my manor. We can assign people here as well. But yeah, that went very well, I must say. So the manor is the trick to unlock your gold, and it is the trick to unlock the final trade route, which means that I could be buying wool, don't need it, wine, maybe, although they're still not asking for that, and then more tools are available as well. But hopefully we can get to producing them. And it does really look like iron will become a bit of a bottleneck. So maybe I'll just go straight for that second one. We don't have the people for it right now, but we'll get those later on, I'm sure. Let's see here. And the reason I put down this this coal hut here is because, well, we're producing more wood, more planks. This was basically an extra layer to keep up with the planks, and since we're reforesting that anyways, I thought, why not have some of the extra wood go into charcoal as well. We've got 2 people incoming, so that's good. We can't do this just yet. Now let's see. Well, I'm hoping that these guys will stock that up to 30. And then I am going to try, I think, a second iron smelter. Because this one, it really feels like he's the one that's lagging behind. Need to produce tools, needs iron, he's got plenty of planks. We already have 30 barrels, that goes up to 100. So let's maybe try that. Put up another iron smelter. We'll put you here, so you can keep going. I need 3 churches at this point. So here's one church, here's another one, and here is a third one that allows people to do plenty of worshipping. And then I'm not sure if I'll need, it doesn't look like it. I've got plenty of woolen cloth here, so this ought to be okay for the clothes at this point. This market, is it well stocked? Well, it doesn't have any of these, of course. It's selling nothing sold, and it has clothes, so it should be fine. And this is being stockpiled, and we need you to go up to 30. Come on, guys. Do it. And so my town center is over here somewhere. Or I could still edit this one, I think. Edit, also add a green tent. That's what I've been using for the food stalls. So So let's put that one here. Start construction. This one is selling bread. It's got plenty of them. This one is selling berries, and this one as well. So not doing too well, of course, because I'm trying to stockpile these for the quests. But yeah, the bread has taken over, so that should be fine. And then we're also producing our own fish, which we now have 144 of it. So that is slowly going up as well. Let's maybe put up another one. It does look like you can just keep going, so we're going to keep going with these as well. More fisheries, please. That looks okay, that looks alright. Now for housing, I'm not exactly sure. Here they did build an extra house, but here for instance they've got a pretty big open space here as well. They of course do seem to like to get closer to the markets. So that may be why. And over here we get some nice upgraded houses. So this all feels quite okay. But I do think that we could expand here for more stone, more berries as well. And so maybe we'll just jump straight behind here and try to make another place to live in. And I'm not sure how they treat trees and things like that that are potentially in the way. So that's something that I'll have to look into. But yeah, pretty soon I think we'll need even more housing space. So let's show you guys how I've been doing that. We've basically just been marking out a square-like area like this. For instance, it'll be okay to have some houses here, I'm sure. So we'll do that. And then right in the middle of that, you just put in a well. That is going to increase the... Let's maybe put it down here to also cut down on one of the trees. And that should really make this area much more desirable for housing. And then they'll start living there. Ooh, and that's something that's not exactly finished. So let's go like that. There we go. And yeah, squares of production for blanks, mostly for woods, and squares for housing. And then we've got same here with the farms. This farm over here. Love how the roads actually started to go through the farms. That actually cuts that down very nicely. I like how all of this is looking. So this is very organic, but I should maybe also talk about one... oh, we have it. Okay, there we go. No need to stockpile anymore. And you guys can get back to eating berries. And that means that I've got this in order to unlock the Itch and the Lord Manor stone sets. Same with the... I can still buy both of these as well. So that's almost everything unlocked like that. That's pretty nice, I must say. Then here we do still have a ways to go to get enough splendor. A hunter's hut. Okay, that's interesting. Wooden keep big coming soon. Unlock a weaponsmith. That's actually going to be important because at some point you may need to build weapons for your soldiers. And then here we get monastery stuff as well. As I make more churches, that'll become better as well. Okay. Not sure if my one soldier I think is doing anything, but we will see. And then over here, that's looking okay. Bread's doing well. So here we'll have more housing. And then I guess we will need another church at this point as well. I think maybe we'll put it down in the middle of these trees. Let me think for just a moment if everything else seems to be in order. 2 unemployed. Need them here, need them here. So that'll be fine. And then we can keep expanding. So, yeah, I wanted to mention something. Maybe I'll quickly do that here. This is fun, and this does look pretty cool. You can also, I think you can imagine that you can build different towns with it, depending on, for instance, you might want like a big residential area or a very big area for extraction rather than working with tiles the way I'm doing here. But it has a certain strictness to it in this game right now because of you needing to unlock everything. So you are a little bit stuck with, well, put down your first town center close to some stone and some food so that you don't have to do too much travel time. The travel time is really sometimes what becomes the problem. because that becomes a real bottleneck. And so as a result, here you've got a little choice, but to also then build your food stalls around the same spot, at least some housing, so that they can very easily get to those job sites. And then you gotta expand in a certain way. You can somewhat decide on it, but you're very much on rails, because after that you'll probably want to go for wool and cloth for more gold, then finally get the bread, which they'll want at this point, and then for your final tier you can finally go for making your own tools, grabbing iron, which is in a very specific spot, and then you can start to expand the way you want. But this is that unlocking process does make everything feel very much on rails, basically, where you're gonna have to repeat that same thing again and again. This is basically those first 4 hours that I showed you guys with the other city in the hills. The exact same thing happened here with just a slightly different layout. And so I'm personally hoping that they can provide us with, I think they allow for mods, so it should definitely be possible, but something like a real sandbox mode where just everything is unlocked right away, and maybe they also have slightly lower needs, so you don't have to put a certain amount in food and a certain amount of chopping down trees and things like that, so you can optimize it a little bit more and really make the town that you want to make. Here, yeah, you've got certain rules that need to be followed, and as a result it does have certain limitations. War is coming. We are prepared, and we are not that prepared, and would be happy to have some helping hands, ideally with swords or axes. How about sending some of your troops to our aid? So we send soldiers to help the king. Reward is 1,000 gold, 20 wine, okay, and then 10 of that. And 1 free territory. Can I just deploy what I have? I'm not sure, but I'll give it a try. Let's see what this is about. Ooh, damn. Send soldiers to the king. Open mission setup. We have to assign, and we have 3 of them, so I'm gonna need 2 more. Let's see if I can just make them like that. Now, they don't even have weapons or anything like that, but let's see if we can do the assignments. So these are my soldiers, and then we'll press send. Soldiers are regrouping. Okay, oh, and there you can actually see one with a little helmet, but no weapons, so they might not be too happy with their performance, but at least I'm sending some bodies to help with the war, apparently. So that's interesting. Okay, this is done. We'll assign another fisherman here. I still have 2 unemployed that must have just come in then, I guess. So that's good for this one. And then here, yeah, we'll need another church at some point, especially to get that splendor up above 20, and then we can unlock some more stuff here. So we get plenty of gold. Let's get started on that, and let's see what we can do for this one. So I don't need too big a church, I don't think, so we'll just put in a core back here. That'll also help with cutting down some of the trees like that. Then a door like that, and then we can now normally use the stone extensions. Yeah, we can. Okay, so I'll do this one, stone extension B. I like some symmetry in there. Then we will definitely need a tower. Maybe we can put one tower just at the edge of this extension, and I wonder, can I put down a second? Oh, you can put down a second core. That's interesting. But then it does lose quite a bit of its symmetry. So I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. Although we could... Alright, so you could definitely expand on that quite a bit more if you want to. Let's see if I do a stone extension A. Ooh. I actually kind of like that one. It's a bit smaller, a bit different. So let's put this one down. Let's also give them a back door. Can I do that? Doesn't want to. So you can, I guess you can only put in one door. Yep, looks like it. And then we also still have maybe another small extension. A wooden one. Can I do this? Alright, at least this one does. Tag on this one. Okay. And then do I want to put in just a second tower? Oh, that's a door. Small tower B. Oh, and then graves. That's true. Let's maybe do that rather than another tower. Let's see. Stone grave. Let's put a couple down here. Another one, just to you know, for our soldiers. I guess we might need it. Stone grave. We'll do that, and then we'll put 3 on this side as well. This is obviously a larger one now that we're going on campaigns. There we go. So now they also have graves for our 5 soldiers. And then we'll also put down a wooden cross if we can. Right on top of this one. And maybe one here as well. Small wooden cross here. And then one right here at the entrance that's hidden in the trees. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. Now that's a larger church than those that we've built before. Start construction, so that should be possible. Well, we can see that it will be built, so let's give them the chance to do so. 109 stone, 75 planks, and 27 of these tools. In the meantime, one of these guys is gonna start to melt more iron to hopefully increase our production. And then, well, more people always welcome. And let's see, soldiers have left for image. Yeah, definitely still we're running into where the development process has ended. And so, yeah, that does make it interesting. We still have to see how the game will then expand and be developed further. And then we definitely want to close this gap here as well. We want people to actually come living in this place. And this one well should really make a big difference. But then maybe, yeah, not already a market here. Might be a bit too early for that. We're also going to focus on building that church here first. But maybe I'll show you guys like a 2 building market just to show that that is possible. So you can grab a market, and let's say that we want to put in 2 food stalls up here just for the bread and the fish, just to give him that those basic things. Then I like to put up a green tent on this one, so just put that here. And what you can immediately do is just put up the second food stall as well, right next to it, like that. Add in a green tent, like this. Maybe they'll have a bench on both sides for people that might want to sit, like this. And then don't really need a bench, but we'll have some barrels at the back where they can keep some of the fish, for instance, pickled fish or something like that. Then you press start construction, and so what this is gonna create, rather than what I've done up here, where every stall is just 1 slot and 1 person. Let's click it away. You create something like this, which is 1 market, 4 stalls, 4 people working there, selling all of these different goods. Very handy little feature. And so up here we're gonna have another one just to allow for food to come into these houses. And look at that, they wanted the place because they're already building a house here. So that's very nice. Global needs filling percentage apparently at 95, so we're doing well. And then hopefully we'll have the resources for this town as well. 2 more unemployed, that means more iron, please. And I'm happy with seeing more fish come in. 186, 354 here. and then the berries are still not doing great. So I might actually just zoom in on this one. It's not that far from these huts anymore, and so let's risk that. I think food is important, so we're gonna just put in a gathering hut. I'll be this way, and then you can also extract this stuff, and that will be fine. Okay, there we go. Some more tips maybe on the early game that I noticed. So one of the things was my economy. It was actually very difficult to get to the 300 gold for my first bakery. And then one tip that I can give you at this point I don't really need it anymore. But for instance, bread, you can buy that. Let's see if I can find that information in the neighboring cities. They sell bread for 10. So that won't make any profits, I don't think. Sell bread for 10, but they also sell fish for 7. And so if we go here, these sell bread 15 loaves for 180. So it's a little bit more than 10. So you can make a profit on that trade. And then for the fish, let's see where I'm selling fish, up here. These sell for 10 a pop, so that's 3 gold profit on those trades as well. So it can actually be a good idea to, at that point, import some of the foods and then just put up a stall to sell them, a market to sell them, and that will actually increase your gold earnings, because if you're trying to do everything from the local income, it's going to be very difficult to get enough stuff produced and to the markets in order for you to actually keep up with your expenses, with your upkeep costs as well. That was a little bit tricky. I had to basically do a bit of food trading, a bit of bread trading before I was even managing to start up my production cycles. But once you've got the very basics, then clothes and bread up and running, then you're fine for gold, and you can actually start to earn like this, where we easily have 500 gold, and we can just keep buying more territories to expand up across this whole place. Oh, maybe we'll go in this direction, because that's a lot of place for more fisheries, which I love. They look pretty cool. They've got their own little boats, and from time to time they even take them out to go out there and fish. At this point though, they're bringing stuff up. These are super important as well. The warehouses, I haven't figured all of that out just yet. You can see here, for instance, that we are consuming our berries, and I'm asking to stockpile, but you know, there's just not enough, I think, being produced for all of this. And of course, every market that you're making does potentially, let's see, can I not click on this market? There we go. Does earn you gold, of course, and I think you want these distribution places available so that you can easily allow all the citizens to grab everything without traveling too much. But these are also stockpiles of up to 50 of your item, which means that you need to produce even more before you're gonna make it available for trade and for quests in order to earn this splendor stuff and unlock even more. So here, this is going quite okay. 59 stone in, 38 of our planks. And what I'm thinking here, you can see that we are attacking this stone and that stone. It's 5 of them. I think we could basically get away with a second stone cutter there as well, if you ask me. Maybe put one right here. How's my stir? Yeah, I don't have that much in reserve for stones. In the meantime, we get more people unemployed. I think I'm actually gonna, or we could, well, since we're working on this anyways, we're gonna put one here. Keep expanding. So we get a stone cutters camp. We'll put you down here, and then we'll make all of this stuff grabbable as well. That ought to be fine. And then of course we're gonna have to invest some people in those as well to keep that up and running. But you can see, if you want to start making big churches, if you want to start making military stuff, I think you'll need lots of stone, lots of wood, and all of that good stuff. So we do have the 2 plank production facilities. Those are keeping up nicely, but stone, nope, not that well. And up here I actually decided on 3 stone masons huts, because those sell as well. which can be very handy, but I should maybe trading resources. Well, at this point I'll maybe just down that to 45 so that at least 5 of them can be sold. And then the planks, well, we got plenty of those. Do they ever get sold? I am not sure exactly how that works either, although it's not really a must at this point. My city can pretty easily, I think, sustain itself, yeah, from my villager consumption, as you can see here. 2,300 last week, not bad. And we can keep expanding that, right, depending on what they need, which at the moment is, again, with the clothes. Although we're making more of them, I think we will want to start maybe another production facility up here or something. I think that makes sense. Your soldiers are back from a mission. Right, and now we do have some UI stuff that's like stuck a little bit. Okay, so those guys then actually come back. That does make it somewhat more interesting. And then maybe what we could also do is take a little trip inside the village. So here, of course, is our major port right now. We've got the men and women fishing at the back. Behind that is a small forest, right? You do want some greeneries here. Oh, and maybe we should get rid of this. Then over here, obviously, you've got the place where we're making tools, iron, stuff like that. And then back here, people can come in for some food and also some stockpiles. And if we go up the hill here, if I can, not that well, but we'll see. We've got our farm right now. We get a fresh batch of wheat. And here our baker, who has his own well, is doing well. And this is our very first church, with right behind it a slow-moving windmill, but it's getting the job done. And we get more houses here. Fort for some first soldiers to train. And this is the very early start back here with our first forest that we are still maintaining. A bit of an extra dump of goods. And then here the main road actually in and out of town with a church on this side. Now over here we can come in here and then see what's actually becoming the major center of my town now, because we've got another farm, bread production, quite a bit of housing, and then another place where I think we're at a better balance between replanting and actually grabbing all of that wood. So that is pretty damn good looking, I think. And of course here we've got a church in the middle of town as well, with some more markets. And then back there we've got even more housing, so that's expanding very nicely. And this is very cool. This is definitely something that you can't really do in Banished that much. Get all these different views. And yeah, this is what my town looks like. It started up this hill and it is now making its way across this valley. It's taking full advantage of its access here. Look at that, we could definitely expand this way. And then up here maybe, that could be cool. And then we can maybe try to like bridge this as well and colonize this island, for instance. That could look cool. Although that will take a decent amount of effort, of course. But yeah, look at this, guys. I think this looks very, very nice actually. And it took me about the same amount of time as in the previous city. For 5 hours, I think, at this point for this one. So we've got 3 unemployed. Have we managed to finish any of these things? So here, let's see here. What was I doing? Normally, it does help to display the zones. What was this one? Oh yeah, the double markets, of course. One of them will be then for berries, I think. Yeah, maybe we could do a full market because we'll have berries incoming. And what I'll maybe need as well is a stockpile. We get plenty of gold, so let's take that warehouse and put one up here. Just so that I could also like maybe have some of the stone put in here as extra. And then since we've got the gold for it, let's buy. That's potentially lots of berries as well. And then we'll try to buy all of this beachfront property as well. That's pretty good. What's happening next? This is up and running. So let's see if this is doing better. Up to 61. Yeah, still not great on the steel. Do we still have like a mass? Yeah, we still have 99 in here with only one miner assigned. So that one is pretty easily keeping up with demand at this point. And these guys, all that iron is very quickly being grabbed. Wood-wise, okay, I would say. Not perfect. But we could very easily actually put more wood cutting in here if we want to. What do they want? 20 fish, and apparently I can make that happen. So which points will I want? Maybe just more labor points. Shall assist the people. Yes, you can take those 20 fish. And I'm guessing that this is really starting to help. And that we actually had that build up in this slot here. So that's something that I do like. Lots of production here for bread and for fish. And then give that a stockpile here. And that gives you a chance to just take the quests and immediately finish that. Does that allow me to grab anything more? Lord Manor's tax collector. If I reach 50 for this, and I think with that one market up here, that we could actually make it. Now we have admittedly started to build up quite a bit. And of course this church here is a pretty massive endeavor. So that's where all of the resources have been going for now. Yep, stone again not doing too well. Unemployed is rising. So what maybe I'll do is try to up this. This one's priority. Quest completed. 1000 gold, 20 wine, and 10 in military as well. Plus 1 free territory. Okay, we'll definitely take that one. Thank you very much. Like that. Hell, we can buy another one if we want to. Alright, let's buy this one. Why the hell not? We're doing so well. I'm not sure what the 20 wine will do. Maybe we'll need... That's a good question. Is that like a luxury good or something like that? Should I consider to try one of those markets as well? That is a possibility. And is anyone bringing something here? Yeah, Grace is bringing the 10 wood. So that is good. And we'll definitely need more wood production as well, I get the feeling. And this is what I was telling you guys. You do have this balancing act that you need to keep in mind. Where, you know, sometimes you'll be running out of stone right now. So I think my priority would be to get this extra stone production up and running. After that, wood is still doing okay, but not great. I feel like it's slowly going down as well, so we gotta be careful there. That's okay, and then we'll definitely want another production for clothes because, well, they're doing okay. They're still not entirely happy with what I've got there. Is there anything that I could build that makes this even better, like luxury clothes or something like that? Tailor's workshop. No, that just makes that. Decorations. Decorative bush. A fence. A road sign. Alright, so we could maybe try some of that. That just costs... Is that... Oh, upfront cost. Okay, for a moment there, I thought it would... so we'll do this. I think that makes sense, right? That road sign here. So you can go to the old center here, or you can go to the busier trade centers over here. So definitely put down this road sign. Ooh, and a fountain costs 500 gold. That is pretty expensive, but these guys seem decently... Well, no, they're not that rich. I wonder if that would also provide us with... Oh, so that's what that looks like. Okay. Who might want that? Old Town up here? Doesn't fit that well. It's gotta be a decently flat area. And it is a very luxurious product, so I'm not sure if that's what we'll want. Maybe these guys have put down cypress, plant arch. Don't think so. Decorative tree, that looks like that. And what does the fence look like? A small fence here to try and make like a front yard. And what does the decorative bush look like? Like that. That's something that they might have done. And what does that cost? Just a little bit of gold. We get a couple of decorative bushes here for this house. Just add to it a little bit. But yeah, the needs here are what's most important, I think. And we'll see about the sign later. In the meantime, that's done. We just need the 5 tools. Charles is assigned to the building. And we are back at plenty of gold. Unemployed is going up as well. I'm just gonna keep adding fisheries here. Fish, fish, fish. Just to make sure that everyone's got plenty and plenty of food. Not too close to one another, but something like that will definitely do. And then we get our whole fleet of fishing boats going out there. That does look pretty cool. In the, well, rather shallow water. They're rather stiff at the moment, but do they actually... Yep, they actually end up holding a fishing rod as well. I may actually... That's maybe something that we could try. Let's buy this territory as well. See if they decide to then fish in there and maybe become more productive. So that's that. That's for you. That's up to 5 already. So we definitely want this one to get done, because that is still lagging behind, and so are the berries. So these two, I feel like they're pretty important. They are working very hard on my bigger church here, with a wooden extension here, one there, and then a bell. And we'll have some graves for our potential graves for our soldiers as well, or gravestones, a place to bury our people. Makes sense. But yeah, once you get into this phase, you can, I think, start to look into, do I want to pretty this up or something like that. Although for me, maybe I can up the desirability that way, of course. That's maybe worth a small experiment. Decoration. A cypress is 10 golds. Let's see if I put this one down here. Maybe a couple? Let's see. Oh, so you plant them and they're tiny. So this is gonna be like Cypress Lane. Then of course that residential desirability is not great. What would perhaps help would be to put up a second well. That does cost a bit of maintenance, but it's worth the experiment, just to see if I can get these guys to upgrade their houses as well. I basically think that they're just not happy to live here, and that's the problem. So we're gonna go like that, and let's see if we can actually increase that desirability this way. Minus 880. Oof, come on guys. The maintenance bill came in, so we'll need you to help out. Buy stuff. Oh, and yep, look at that. My church is coming in at the right time. And here again, I think that you're starting to feel, you can definitely tell indeed that that growth keeps forcing you to do the same thing again, basically, right? So we get yet another church. I need it just to keep them happy here. We need housing, so you gotta have plenty of spot here. I wonder if I can somehow clear more of these trees to give them better places to live as well. If that doesn't work, I guess I could extend it this way as well. Maybe we'll just straight up do that. Make this a big residential area. Up to this point. And up to those trees. Like that. And then to increase that desirability, we'll put a well right in the middle of these guys, of this area, and that should give them plenty of space. But I don't fully understand the logic. Why wouldn't anyone build a house here and here? There's definitely room for a few more houses there, so that's something that I don't really fully get just yet. Let's go like this. Gold is going up, that's good news. We're still decently happy, and here we'll have a church in the middle of the woods. That is slowly coming together. That's doing okay. And that's done. So we can assign some of our unemployed people to cut more stone. which should help. I mean, that's like one of the lowest resources. And as I've said, you can see that the number of shirts are not doing too well, and they do want those basic clothing items, so we'll need to work on that. That's gonna be here once we can. So that part of the church is done. Do need more to be brought in, and then the stockpile needs to be done. Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. And tuna villagers joining in. Okay, so you guys can definitely do that. This is the center valley, you could say. Look at that. We are right in the middle of everything. We really do have production of the tools, production of food, more production of food, and then a nice little housing area right here. And then a back road up to the main road. That'll be fine as well. 2 unemployed. That's still not going up. I'm just, my number of fish, yep, that's steadily going up at this point, so that's good. That should mean that's up to 27, that's up to 43. So if we get a quest for fish, that's not a problem. But if we get a quest for berries, that is a problem. So these guys will be working hard, that's fine. And then a bigger project like this big church does delay everything else quite a bit. But as we've seen before, you can fix that. So there's the well. You can fix that by just saying, alright, you know what? We want this finished first. Bring in that 10 wood so that I can give these people some jobs as well. And then we can hopefully start to build up our berry count. And then here now we'll add to this as well. And that's one big area for living again. But this is the approach that I've taken. Works really well to keep everything decently well established. And now all of a sudden we did have a spurt of productivity here when it comes to the sheep. The weaver's hut is now supplying 2 of these tailor's workshop without any real problem. That's still at 100, and then these 2 sheep farm 81 and 100. Yeah, plenty of that. So actually we could consider adding just an extra tailor somewhere. Over here they don't have one yet. That looks like a spot where we could give that a try. Let's maybe do that. A tailor's workshop. It is pretty big. Something like that could work though, I think. And this is also a place where that buys and sells clothes, so that'll be fine. As I've said, will take a little bit of time though. And in the meantime, since we've got another 500 golds, let's buy more. Wooden, ooh, I haven't seen that yet either, the walls. Let's see, do I wanna start to build up like a small wooden wall somewhere? What would it look like? Let's say that we have a wooden wall that would start from here. Ooh, that's what that... Ooh, that looks okay. We could turn this into like a small fort this way up until that's stone. Then you right click it or... A house is upgrading. That's great news. You know what? I'll just try to finish it this way. And then we'll put that over up until here. And then we'll close this like this. And then can I just say yes or no? How does that work? Double click, right click. Wooden wall. Okay, then do I have to press something for it to be built? No. There we go. Kind of strange. Does that cost me wood? No. Alright. I wasn't sure how that was gonna work out. Not completely intuitive, but now our little keep with the first soldier standing guard without a weapon. That's kind of bad, but at least they've got their own little spots up the hill now. That makes it look... Let's go like that. That makes it look a little bit better even. Okay, that works well. And then up here, of course, what we could, for instance, try to do is then put up a massive fort, massive stone fort up on this part here that would dominate this thriving little metropolis. That could be cool, a cool plan for later as well. So, anyone bringing that? Yeah, female number 732 is bringing 10 wood as part of the perfect Borg collective. She doesn't mind. And then here, this church, I think is almost finished. We're just building the final part behind here, I think. A little bit more in the planks, which we're producing plenty of. This is holding on quite nicely as well. And then we need 8 more stone. That's actually increasing thanks to these 5 up here. So that's awesome. And then this is now at 52. Once this is full, we'll actually start to stockpile the tools as well. And then we'll be ready for whatever way it is that we actually get to. I remind coal huts, get to making wine or something like that ourselves. Or should I try to import that? Selling. These do sell wine. So we could try to, let's say, buy until we reach 20 just to start. And then I don't have that much more time, but I guess we could then look for the right market to sell our wine in. Is it goods? Is it actually the what's it called? The luxury goods stall? I'm not sure yet. We'll have to look at that later. In the meantime, unemployment is going up, so let's build this up, please, so that I can get more berries. Houses here would be great. And this church is almost done. And that's the entrance, hidden a little bit away, again, in a small forest. But this is also where we'll be burying our dead and things like that, so don't want that to be too exposed. It's basically up on the hill from our small valley. So that'll do. These houses are waiting for wood. We've got a decent amount of them. After that, I think it's pretty obvious that we'll want to cut down on more of it. What I could try is, of course, to see if I can, for instance, get rid of all of these trees as well. But it's a nice little forest and the road is built right around it, so it's actually okay. What we could do then, for instance, is try to cut this or to make this another more productive area for that. And we still have this in reserve just in case of us needing anything, so that'll be fine. I think 639 gold. This shouldn't take that long anymore. Up here, can you do this? Very slowly, but she's working on it, so that's great. And these guys, I like this. Lots of stone production that is going up. So that's great. Next here, so that's my Lord's Manor. Oh yeah, actually also a guard here. Okay, oh, 2 guards. Alright, these are my soldiers. They do tend to clip a little bit. I thought it would be nice to put this up on the hill right here next to the sea. This ought to be a pretty defensible position. But it's a bit smaller than I thought, so I'm not sure how we could... let's see, if I click on it, or... Can I do edits? I can do edits. So if I click on any... Ooh, goddamn! That's not what I wanted to do. Edit. Core. Let's put that back. And let's maybe make that a bit taller. Oh, so you can do that, but I can't really make it wider or anything like that. So let's do start construction. It's going to be a slightly taller core then, but it'll be fine. We still have the treasuries, so that impact from my mistake is okay. And yeah, that's what this puppy looks like. Let's see if I can maybe... it's still building, so now I can't edit that right now. I see. Okay, okay, okay. All of this is being bought, so we can do the next one, I think. Right here. That would be very nice as well, I think. To build stuff on this this part here. That could be very cool. And then, of course, more fishing potential here. So, what's happening here? This church is ready to rock. Yep, so that should be... still not. Oh yeah, they're still building up the final bits here. A couple of gravestones. And I will probably still have a couple of crosses. Yeah, so 2 stone, 4 planks. That's lots of small stuff, which we have. So that should not be a problem. This is done. 1, 2, 3. Foragers are at the ready. And then hopefully my builders will be able to help out with the living situations, because quite a few of them like that. And then we have to get that tailor's workshop here up and running. And then maybe I will still put down an entire production center for clothes here as well, with a, what's it called, a sheep farm, a weaver's hut, and another tailor's workshop. I think it's gonna be worth it to do that. But we are approaching basically the 5th hour in Foundation. This is a fun little game. Remember that it is early access and it is on rails a little bit, as I've said, with the unlocking system and things like that. But so far I am definitely having fun. It's quite a bit of work, but pretty relaxed. There are definitely similarities to Banished on this one, and this has unlocked more stuff, so that's gonna be this one, I think. We could grab the church, not sure exactly. Unlock small stone wall. New tier of unlockables, and here can't do that yet. It would be an immense display of faith if you were to build a monument to our Lord's splendor. What does that do? Gives me 10 of that. And what is it exactly that I need to build then? Not another church, I hope. But let's give it a try, I guess. You have to build a church. Yeah, as expected. So these are just... So far, all I've done is build rustic churches, and so they want me to build an actual big church. Yeah, that'll be for the next one for sure. But let's keep this one here. Oh, it doesn't have a time limit on it. Okay, that's reasonable. Then I'm okay with it. Unlike those trade quests, this doesn't have a time limit on it, so I can definitely still stabilize this situation. Over here, get this done, allow them to make their houses, and then maybe back here or something, or up here. Or that's covered, this is as well. Yeah, maybe somewhere over here we'll build a big church so that we can keep going with the unlockables. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video of Banished, guys. Banished. Well, it's almost Banished, but this is actually Foundation. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.